This is the global certification path for Cisco. So if you want to go for the certification for the Cisco Certified Network Associate, so previously actually it was two papers. We have this ICND 1 and ICND 2. This ICND 1 is the entry level certification. Then ICND 2 is for your advanced networking. So when you do the networking CCNA, so you can do it by these two papers, ICND 1 and ICND 2. But now they do what? They use this CCENT. It is what your CC entry, CCNA enterprise, which is like your entry level certification for your Cisco certification path. So here in this level, basically you will be configured, or you will be doing a basic configuration of networking, like normal configuration of switch and basic concept of your networking. Then you have the next level is what? CCNA. This is what? Cisco Certified Network Associate level. And this is also what? Routing and switching. Remember, routing and switching is the certification path you can choose. There are other branches of this also, like you can do the CCNA in security also. You can do it CCNA in security also, where you will learn how to the security part in this networking, how to do in security part in those routers and switches. But in routing and switching, you will learn the basic concept of routing and switching, because whenever you want to do the networking, first you have to do the routing and switching. Then after the routing and switching, you can configure the security part. But it is actually having a separate stream or separate path for your certification. So if you want the CCNA you want to do, then you can do CCNA in routing and switching. That is the best way. Otherwise you can directly do the CCNA in what? Security. But if you want to do the CCNA in security before CCNA in routing and switching, then what? You have to do CCENT. Otherwise you cannot do CCNA in security. This is what the basic level first you have to continue, first you have to cover. Then you can go for this other stream, or you can even go for CCNA security. You can go for CCNA voice over IP, VoIP. You can go for CCNA in database. You can go for other streams are there. But basically what the database, CCNA in database, VoIP and security is more important. You can go for CCNA in Wi-Fi also, only Wi-Fi design. But for all of those other type, you have to do first CCNT. This is the basic one, and this is previously it was like ICND 1. And then CCNA, best path is to do what? First CCNA in routing and switching, which was actually what? ICND 2. Here you will get to learn how to manage the router and switches, and how to do the switching and routing, and how to communicate between those routers and switches. And after the doing communication, then you can go for security, or you can go for VoIP configuration, or you can go for database configuration, wireless configurations. But first, it is the basic one. So first you should do actually CCNA first in routing and switching. Then you can go for other certifications. But if you like to directly, then you can directly do CCNA in security only after you do CCENT first. So this one is the basic one, and because apart from this you cannot do these other parts. Now the best way is to go from CCENT, CCNA routing and switching, and even CCNP in routing and switching, and then go for security. Now the next level for the CCNA Cisco certification is, after CCNA you have CCNP. This is Cisco Certified Network Professional. Now in this level you have what? You will see the very advanced configurations of routing, those concepts, those protocols like EIGRP, OSPF. You will see lots of advanced things you will learn here. You will learn the configurations what you do for a level of ISP. Then after this level you can go for the next level is what? CCIE. It is Cisco Certified Internetwork Engineer. Now when you do this, then that you will get a very much big configurations. That means it is like totally managing the ISP network, internet service providers network, big network, how you can manage those things. So here you will learn a lots of things. For example, in CCNA we will see a RIP protocol. We see the RIP protocol completely. We see IGRP protocols, how they work, but EIGRP and OSPF protocols we see in a CCNA level, but only till the introduction level. But in CCNP level we will see that protocols like EIGRP, OSPF in very much detail. These protocols are very vast. So in this CCNP level of routing and switching you will get to know more and more about those protocols. And then in the IAP, and one more protocol you will get to introduce here in CCNP is what? BGP, which is the exterior gateway protocol, which works between two routing domains. And here it is like the BGP is like for what? ISPs who try to join what? Different domains, different routing domains. And then you will get to learn this in more detail in this CCIE level of routing and switching, to basically do what? Routing and switching. Now you can go for the other streams like CCNA security, then you can go for CCNP security, and then also you can go for CCIE security. Or in other streams also same like this, you can go for this, and then you can go for this IE, NP and IE also in VoIP, in wireless also. Now whenever you do the certification for these from Cisco, it will be valid for 3 years. If you do CCNT certification, it will be valid for 3 years. After 3 years it will be unvalid and you have to renew it. For renewing it you have to give another certification exam. And if before CCENT expiry you did CCNA exam, then it will be valid for 3 years and this will be also valid. Then after 3 years this will be also expire, and before expiring if you did this CCNP, then this will be valid for 3 years, and also your other certifications will be valid for next 3 years. But after 3 years this will also expire, and if you want to do CCIE, then also it will go for 3 years and your others will also be renewed for 3 years. Otherwise it will expire, and if this expire after 3 years, then you can renew it. Exam for these are online exam. You can go for the Prometric Center. You can give these exams online. It is all multiple choice questions, like you will get one question with multiple choice and you have to select one or multiple options to do the right answer. And also you will get some 1-2 questions of simulation, where you will see the simulation of your router and switch, and you have to told to configure something there in that router or switches. Other than that, all the questions of these CCENT, CCNA and CCNP is all about the multiple choice questions. But in this CCIE level, it's a very top level examination, and it is actually have 2 examinations, 2 papers. One is theory and one is practical. So theory you can give it from anywhere, but the practical exam you have to go for the lab, which is not available in everywhere. Very selected locations in selected countries you have those labs. So those labs you will be given the lab, and then you have to design that network there in that lab. That is what the real lab actually, like a real scenario. You have to design, you will get the question to design some network and manage the traffic, and you have to do it practically. And that is how you can pass this exam. One more level is there, it is called CCNA architect. That is what like a final level for it, when you will become the architect of network. And when you reach till there, you will be the expert of this networking. This is what the levels of this certification. You can see those things in your in the official site of Cisco. And what is the prerequisites for the examination? Like if you want to give CCNA, so what is the prerequisites? If you want to give CCNP, then what is the prerequisites? It is actually, if you want to do CCNP, then you have to do before either CCNA, and then you can do this CCNP. And for CCNA, you have to do what? CCENT before it. Otherwise, you can't do CCNA. And if you don't CCNA, then you can do CCNP. And if you don't do CCNP, you can't do CCIE. And for the security part for CCNA, you cannot do Cisco CCNA security until you have completed this CCENT. If you want to give directly CCNP in security, then you have to at least complete this CCNA in routing and switching. So these are the certification path for your Cisco certification, Cisco global certifications. So this is the official site of the Cisco, where you can see what are the levels of certification. So first one is what? CCENT. It is what your entry level. It is entry certification. And with this, you can go for this associate level. And these are the different streams of the level. Like you have CCDA, CCNA in cloud also. Now we have in cloud, we have in collaboration, we have in data center, industrial, and the routing and switching. The basic is what? Routing and switching. After doing the routing and switching, these other streams are easy for you. Otherwise, this will be difficult for you. And for that, they have decided that you should have to done first CCENT. If you check, I want to do this. If I right click and say what I can do, what are the things which I can do? So CCENT is what? Cisco Certified Entry Networking Technician. And here when you see, required exam is only training. You need only training to do this exam. And it is actually what? ICND 1. That is Interconnecting Cisco Networking Device Part 1. Now if I want to do this CCNA routing and switching, so it is saying that you are not having any prerequisites. That means we can directly give this CCNA exam if we don't give CCENT. So we can directly give this CCNA exam without giving that CCENT exam. But if I want to give CCNA routing and switching, it is. But if I want to go for CCNA security, so you can see there is a prerequisites. So for giving CCNA switching in security, I have to do any valid Cisco CCENT. Otherwise, we will not able to understand the CCNA security part. Either I can give CCENT certification, or I have to have CCNA routing and switching. So basically, this one is the basic one for giving any of this stream. If I choose any of these, I first have to give what? This CCNA routing and switching or CCENT. Now if we go to the next level, it is what? Professional level. It is CCNA Network Professional, CCNA Cisco Certified Network Professional. Now in this level, you have all CCDP. For CCDA, you have CCDP. CCNA Cloud, you have CCNP Cloud. You have CCNP Collaboration, Data Center, Routing and Switching, and Security. So if I want to give this CCNP routing and switching. So what is the prerequisites? It says that you have to have CCNA, say, routing and switching. Otherwise, you cannot do this CCNA, CCNP. But if I try to check CCNP security, so now it's here this that you have to do what CCNA security first, then you can do CCNP in security, because these ones are advanced versions, so advanced level of this CCNA level. Now after NP, you have expert level, which is what CCIE for design, for DA, for this DPDA, it is actually designing professional. You have DE. Designing professional is designing expert, means how to design the network basically. In this stream you will learn how to design the network. So same as you have routing and switching CCIE in routing and switching, CCIE in security, and if you want to do this, then your prerequisites will be, there are no formal prerequisites for CCIE certification. Other professional certification or training courses are not required. Instead, candidate must first pass a written qualification exam and then corresponding hands-on lab exam. So basically what it says, it is not having a basically prerequisites, but it has to be passed the first handwritten exam to qualify for the lab exam, and you can do it only when you have the knowledge of the level of CCNP. Otherwise you will not able to do this. This exam itself does not say anything about previous certification, but it actually says that you should have to pass the written exam. So I said first is the theory exam, which is written exam, and that's what this written exam for CCIE routing and switching, this is the code, and then you can go for lab exam, and that lab exam is conducted into the lab, and it is very costly also. So without the practical knowledge, basically without the practical knowledge, you cannot do this CCIE exam. So this is what your Cisco certification path, and the next level we also have this is what the architect, and this means you will become the architect of the network. Architect is the highest level of the accreditation achievable and recognizes the architectural expertise of the network designers who can support the increasingly complex networks of global organizations and effectively translate businesses strategies into evolutionary technical strategies. These are all global certification, and this is the global certification path.